Hello and welcome to our presentation entitled Our Behavioral Response During a Pandemic. My name is Mike Miner and joining me today are Jennifer Miserak and Stephanie Woodruff. We are from Intermediate Unit 1's Laboratory Campus. Intermediate Unit 1 is located in southwestern Pennsylvania. It's roughly 45 to 60 minutes from the city of Pittsburgh. Within the IU, we have 25 school districts across 3 counties, and we have 3 campus schools within IU1, and the laboratory campus is one of those schools. The laboratory campus is a center-based program with 60 to 70 students from across 14 school districts. Our school provides a challenging education and related services to students in grades K through 12 who need highly structured, supportive, and comprehensive special education services. We have 3 types of programming. We have autistic support for secondary age students in 7th grade through 12th. We have multi-disability support. We have an elementary classroom as well as a secondary classroom. And we also have CTES, which is Comprehensive Therapeutic Emotional Support. That runs kindergarten through 12th grade, and we have 5 CTES classrooms at laboratory. The purpose of the program, as you look at this slide, you can see we aim to build student self-esteem. In line with the PBIS framework, we're working on modifying disruptive behavior and enhancing the social-emotional skills of the students. We're also promoting attendance, graduation, working on developing their academic achievement skills, having a career and college readiness component, and looking at transition services and supports for these students. Let's take a look at the school-wide PBIS journey at laboratory. Back in 2018, the core team was initially trained. So in the 2018-19 school year, they began to implement PBIS at laboratory. We continued this last year, the 19-20 school year, which was my first year as principal at laboratory. We continued to promote the implementation across all 3 types of programs. We spent more time looking at Swiss data, looking at the Big 5 to look for behavioral trends. Expectations were taught, modeled, and reinforced through our pause. And in March of 2020, we completed the BOQ and we scored a 98%. We quickly realized in the spring of 2020 that we needed to do something different. We needed to reassess our systemic framework to support virtual learning. As we came back this school year in the 2020-2021, we received the PA-PBS Network Participating Site. And our PBIS is part of not only remote learning, hybrid learning, but also face-to-face learning when the students are in the building. Another exciting chapter within our PBIS journey this year, in November, we were granted the Pathway to Graduation grant. So as we look at P2G and we look at attendance, behavior, and course performance, we're incorporating our academic framework and behavioral framework into the support of all the students. As I mentioned on the previous slide, our motto is PAUSE. PAUSE stands for positive attitude, act respectfully, work hard, and safe choices. As we continue to have effective classroom management, we're also being preventative with our school discipline. As we were moving through last school year, we thought we were on the road to be recognized for fidelity at Tier 1 during the 2021 school year, and then things changed. So if you think about before March 13th, we had a school full of children, we had hallways, we had chatter in the building, we had active engagement with our teaching and as well as our learning, we had recess, we had center time, we were using our cafeteria for students to eat lunch, we were handing out paws, catching kids being good. They were coming down at the end of the day, picking a number, putting that paw on the principal's 200 chart right here outside of the main office. And then once the row was full, they were spinning a wheel to identify what their reinforcement would be for earning their paw. But after March 13th, we found empty parking lots. The school was extremely quiet. All of our teachers and students were at home. And we had new vocabulary, Chromebooks, Zoom, Google Classroom, Fusion, Moodle. There truly was a change in the way education was being done. We started asking questions. How do we engage the students through Zoom? How do we engage students through a Google Meet? What is a breakout room? How are we going to hand out pause? What is that going to look like? How are we going to recognize positive behavior? So these were questions as a core team we had to take back to the drawing board to identify what we need to do differently. We knew we had to adapt and do so quickly. These are some of the changes we made as we moved from the spring of 2020 into the fall of 2020. We knew that PBIS still needed to be implemented and maintained. We knew this was something that was supporting students at home in their new learning environment. So the week of May 4th, we had a Spirit Week. You see, Monday was Beach Day, Tuesday was Pet Day. This seemed to bring some excitement back and a focus to our PBIS efforts. From March 13th to the beginning of May, we weren't quite sure what PBIS should look like here at Laboratory. So we adjusted the behavioral matrix. We included virtual learning and what the behavioral expectations are for students when they're at home. What does a positive attitude look like when you're engaged in a Zoom session? How do you work hard? How do you act respectfully if you're in a Google Classroom? So we continue to reinforce attendance. As students submitted their instructional packets, we sent home positive notes, and we used Class Dojo to reinforce using specific behavioral praise the efforts of the students. And now I'm going to turn this over to Jen Mizrak. He's going to continue to discuss how the laboratory campus adapted to the change all of us were dealing with in the spring of 2020 and into the fall of 2020.
We will be discussing our family connection. This is an important piece of PBIS framework. When we went remote in March, we had to switch things up to help parents with PBIS at home. We sent a letter home supporting PBIS during remote learning and our revised matrix. You can see the letter on the right side of your screen. We explained to the parents that at school we set daily common expectations, teach and reteach, and acknowledge the expectations through our laboratory line pause. We also had students explain to their parents what PBIS is during Zoom sessions. We added a PBIS class in Class Dojo, which provided strategies for supporting families with PBIS at home.
As you can see, this is our matrix from last year. We have P for positive attitude, A for act respectfully, W for work hard, and S for safe choices. As you can see, we have arrival, dismissal, hallway, classroom, and cafeteria. Under arrival and dismissal, we added practice good hand hygiene. Under A for act respectfully, we stated that they need to sit in the designated area for shoe check-in. W, wear face coverings when appropriate. Safe choices, we did not add anything to that category. Hallway, practice good hand hygiene. You must stay 6 feet for personal space. Wear a face covering when appropriate. Classroom, respond appropriately to directives in class and at home. A, we added 6 feet personal space and value school property and Chromebooks. W, we added wear face coverings when appropriate. Cafeteria, we added wear the face coverings when appropriate. Okay, so this is the second part of our matrix. As you can see, we have recess, gym, restroom, bus, and remote. We recently added the bus and the remote. Under positive attitude, we wrote respond appropriately to directives, load front to back. Also, act respectfully. Use kind, appropriate words. Keep your hands and feet to yourself. Wear your headphones when using your phone. Work hard is to listen to the bus driver and assistant. Wear face covering. And our safe choices were keep seatbelt on at all times. Stay in the seat. When we went to remote learning, we added that column as well. P for positive attitude, we put down there, respond appropriately to directives, use positive and encouraging comments, Ask for help when needed. Under A for act respectfully, take turns to comment during online meetings. Mute microphones when not talking. Value school property and Chromebooks. W, work hard. Have all materials ready. Attend online meetings on time. Give full effort in completing assignments. Wear your face covering when appropriate, and use the manipulative equipment provided to you. Our safe choices were maintain a personal distance of 6 feet. Practice good hand hygiene. As you can see, we also added to the recess. We added practice good hand hygiene when back in school. Follow playground rules. Wear face coverings when appropriate. In the gym, we added wear the face coverings when appropriate and maintain our personal distance of 6 feet. And follow the rules of the bus if going off site. Restrooms, one student at a time in the restroom to maintain our 6 feet distance. They are also required to wear face coverings when appropriate. Last school year, students could earn a pause ticket throughout the school day. At 2:10 in the afternoon, Stephanie and I will go out to the front office and set up a table and have our autograph book ready and the container of candy ready. We will call over the PA system for students that earned a PAW ticket to come to the front office. We called in 2 groups, K through 5 and 6 through 12, so that there wasn't a lot of students waiting at one time. Students would hand us their PAWS tickets that already had the staff member's name on it. The staff filled in the tickets with the student's name and circled the letter P for positive attitude, A for act respectfully, W for work hard, or S for safe choices for the reason they received the ticket. We had the students write their name in the autograph book, then choose a laminated numbered paw from the basket. Once they pulled it, we wrote the name in the autograph book, then choose a laminated numbered paw from the basket. Once they pulled it, we wrote the number, the staff member who gave the ticket, and the date in the book. Students wrote their name on the laminated paw with a dry erase marker. The students then hung their numbered paw on the principal's 200 chart. Then the students chose a piece of candy for getting a PAWS ticket.
And now, our principal's chart is online. When we started school this fall, we did hybrid teaching with 2 groups of students during the week. Instead of calling the students to come to the front office with their PAWS tickets and have them congregate, we came up with a virtual chart so that I could take a laptop around to each room to do PAWS and that it was always going to be current. When we shifted to remote learning, I collected all the Zoom classroom links from the teachers. I could then jump into each class during the day to call PAWS. We flooded the system in December when we were remote. Each staff member would get a virtual ticket to give out. Now it's 1 ticket per room, and we rotate around the staff in that room. Here is our virtual chart. I made it in Google Slides. I found this chalkboard template in SlidesGo and changed it to fit my needs. Since this is a recorded session, I can't actually open it right now. I will open it for you to see during the live Q&A session afterwards. So when I open it up, you will see it has our PAWS acronym, a cartoon line representing our mascot, and some other positive icons on the sides. The first page is our 100 chart and the second page is our 200 chart. After a student gets a number, I take out the number and put their name in. The example names in the chart are from our example autograph book. I kept the last slide for attribution. So as you can see, the virtual chart is convenient for easy access at school or at home as it's saved to Google Drive and can be accessed from any computer you sign into. One person can do this so less hands are touching everything. It makes for easier cleaning. When in person, can travel to each room with a laptop to do PAWS. It helps us to social distance without having lots of people in an area together. When in remote, can use in Zoom to do PAWS. All I need to do is share my screen when in Zoom and the students can see the chart and the names on the board. Quick to reset to start over again. I just take out the names and put the numbers back in for the next round. Next is our autograph book. It went virtual as well.
I use Google Sheets to make this. The same format we use in our physical autograph book is here in the virtual one. It keeps track of the date tickets were collected, names of students, the teacher who gave out the ticket, and the numbers spun on the app for the principal's chart. During remote and hybrid learning, it helps to write the students' names here until I can catch the student on Zoom. Sometimes when I get a name from a teacher, that student may not be on Zoom at that time or in another class. So it reminded me to ask the students to do their pause the next time I saw them. Also, I can always make sure I inputted the number the student spun into the principal's chart if I was running out of time while in person.
So the tricky part was coming up with a way for the students to get a random number since we were not having students pick a laminated paw from the basket like we did last year. So as we work smarter, not harder, our PLC, or Professional Learning Community, that our local facilitator, Amy Dillo, has once a month for her teams, shared how another team did their chart. That is how I found out about the Spin the Wheel Random Picker app. It is a free download from Google Play or the App Store. I have it on my Android phone. You can create your own spinner wheels with as many slices as you want. The picture on the left is our 200 wheel to spin to get a number for the principal's chart. You can search for wheels that other users have created. I believe I searched for 1 through 200 and that's how I got my wheel. Or you can even create your own. I made the prize wheel, that is the picture on the right, that students will spin once we get a filled row on their principal's chart. You can hide numbers already spun. So what you do is hit the black button to spin. After the number comes up, you hit hide slice at the bottom of the screen so that someone else doesn't spin that number. After we have a row of winners on our principal's chart, we can just reset the wheel by pressing this pie icon at the top and then reset. Only one piece of equipment that needs to be cleaned. After I'm finished with all the students, I wipe off my phone. Can be used in person or online on Zoom during remote instruction. That's the nice thing about this app. I can use it while I'm present with the students in the class, or I can use it on Zoom when I'm doing pause with the students. I will talk about this more in the next slide. If you're on a computer, you can search for this app at spinthewheel.app. It's just an informative website. To actually use a spinning wheel, you need to download this on your Android or Apple phone. I have not found a website that lets me create a wheel of 200 slices, so that's why I use my phone for the spinning wheel. Being that this is a free app, there are ads that pop up on this app. Back to the prize wheel. If we are totally remote, the student will be mailed a $5 gift card. That's the easiest prize we can give to our students. Since our student population comes from many different school districts across the county, we give Walmart, McDonald's, and other popular chain gift cards, as usually those places can be found in more towns, making it easier for our students to use them. When we are in hybrid or in person, we do use the options on our wheel, like ice cream, mystery item, prize box, free time, $5 gift card. There is lunch with a staff member, but I just skip over that one right now, as the students stay in their classrooms for lunch, so it's not a popular choice. There are some students that would keep this as their prize, as our school resource officer is very popular and the students will choose to eat lunch with him. Other online components we use for our PBIS is Zoom, Microsoft's Your Phone, and ClassDojo. You all know about Zoom and how we use it to teach our students virtually through synchronous learning. All links have been shared with all staff so they can visit other classes. Those Zoom links that I got from the teachers, I put them into a Google Sheet. This way, other teachers, social workers, paras, our principal, and our school resource officer can pop into the classrooms. It really helps the students see some different faces besides their own teachers and staff while Zooming every day. We usually get to see other students during the day in the building, so to get to see them during Zoom really makes the day better for the students and the staff. Use share screen to do pause with students when working remotely. I go to all 8 of our classes online. I can share the autograph book, their principal's chart, and the spin the wheel app so the students can see everything together on the screen. Next is Microsoft's Your Phone. It's on computers that have Windows 10. I'm not sure if it's on older Windows versions. On your cell phone, you turn on Link to Windows and then open the app on the computer, and then your phone screen comes up on the computer. When I first started doing the virtual pause, I didn't know about this app. I would hold my phone up to the video camera during Zoom so the students could see the wheel. But then, once I discovered this app, it made the process much easier and simpler. All three components of the autograph book, the principal's chart, and the wheel are all on the computer screen. Next is ClassDojo. I'm sure most of you know or use ClassDojo yourself. It is a communication tool for teachers and parents to connect with a daily feed from the school. We use it to reinforce behavior, base skills on PBIS behavioral expectations, so our matrix comes in handy for this, and just this year, we share important resources in the PBIS class with families. Moving forward, we know that PBIS can be done in person as well as remotely. Systematic framework can be redesigned to fit our needs. We learn to adapt to the situation, which as teachers, we did that starting March 13th at the drop of a hat with no preparation. We will get recognized for fidelity at Tier 1, and that PBIS is always a work in progress. We are always finding a way to adapt PBIS, as this is a new territory we have entered into with virtual learning. As we don't know what education will look like going forward, we are setting the examples for the future. Thank you for attending our presentation. If you would like more information, please email Mike at mike.miner@iu1.org.